What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we got a brand hammer new one in here, 2025 ZX10R. I really love the color combo on this thing. Normally I would not think green and yellow would be a winner, but dude, I love the yellow on this thing. It looks super good. Now we got it in here. The customer has a Aero titanium exhaust, the 3/4 system, and he is complaining the bike runs like teetotal crap since he's put it on there, and he is 100% correct. So these things run super lean from the factory with a stock exhaust, and then when you put the aftermarket exhaust on them, they really struggle to run good. Now you see here we've got the, I guess you'd say, baffle in it, DB killer, whatever you want to call it. That thing is definitely needed whenever you, we'll talk more about that here in just a second, but we're gonna take this ZX10R with an Aero exhaust that runs and drives like crap, and we're gonna fix it up today, guys. Stay with us, here we go. Thing we're gonna do, Tucker, let's show them what we're gonna do. We're gonna take and block off our pair valve. We're gonna be doing the old trusty marble mod. Now, right here on the ZX10, you can see that little nipple coming off the air box. You can see this hose there. That goes to the pair valve. We are going to block that off, squirt a little lube in there, and then show them the marble. There's a little ball we just stuck in there, guys. So anyways, he literally just shoves that down in that hole, and then we're going to put that hose back on that nipple just like it was from the factory. That's gonna stop any of our popping, banging, anything that we may get on decel. That is also going to help the bike run and drive much smoother. In my opinion, on a ZX10, this is an absolute must modification. Even if you do the ECU Flash, it really helps them perform a lot better. But the next thing is the idle on this bike. So whenever you install the exhaust with the baffle out, they idle terribly. A lot of that is due to the lack of back pressure, the length of the muffler. In my opinion, the Aero exhaust wouldn't necessarily be the one I picked based off of the results that we've seen with them. Now, I have worked with these things many times. Baffle out, baffle in. With the baffle in, it'll idle perfectly smooth once we tune it and totally normal, but it's not deafening loud like some people may want. Now, this particular customer bought it, hated the way it idled, and on top of that, after the first ride, he said he literally couldn't even think. His head hurt so bad and his ears are ringing because the bike is so incredibly loud. If that's what you want, this is the exhaust for you. But if that's not what you want, then like I said, you gotta leave the baffle in. We'll fire it up. You can see what it sounds like with the DB killer slash baffle in. Idles pretty smooth slash pretty good. So we're gonna run this thing, see what kind of performance, what kind of numbers we get with the stock ECU. Also, if the bike is not performing the way we want it with the baffle in, we're gonna remove the baffle, see what it does with the baffle out to know, is this exhaust the one you want? Baffle in or baffle out, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you wanna be that loud, obnoxious, just make your ears hurt kind of guy? Or do you like something that's stealthy fast? Here we go, time for the baseline pull. All the restrictions are still in the ECU. Let's see what kind of power this thing makes from the factory with just this muffler bolted on. 163.99, 74 foot-pounds of torque, but there is our nipple of failure. So these things go up, they go straight back down because of all the restrictions in the ECU. I'll show you more about that here in just a second when I pull up our Woolits Racing ECU flashing program. I know a lot of you are watching this video and like, yo, how did I just buy a 2025 ZX10R and it only has 163 horsepower? I read online that it's supposed to have 200 horsepower from the factory. Well, they tricked you. So anyways, these things essentially have a governor on them from the factory. So we're gonna pull up a stock ECU file in our Woolits Racing software for the new ZX10. We're gonna go into other maps, then we're gonna go to the ETV tables, electronic throttle valve. So from the factory, you give it gas here, it's controlled by a throttle cable, and then it goes down to this electronic throttle motor, which is controlled by the ECU, which is actually giving it the amount of throttle you see here on this table. So you can see we've got it in sport mode, we got it in 5th gear, and this is how much throttle our hand is giving it, 100% up here. This is how many RPMs the bike is seeing. Look at this, guys. In 5th gear, the highest the numbers go to is 100% at 11,500 RPMs. But look what it goes back down to after that. Literally all the way down to 25% throttle at 13.6. Basically meaning you're not getting over 13.6 no matter what you do. And literally before that, it's only 60, 70, 80%. Literally the restrictions are insane on this thing. Same thing pretty much in every single gear. The higher you go, it doesn't get any better. So we're gonna fix all that in our ECU Flash today. Not only that, we're gonna be smoothing out the fuel mapping, correcting all the lean conditions that these things have from the factory. We bump the rev limiter a little bit. We get rid of the need for a servo buddy. So whenever you buy the exhaust, this thing will throw a check engine light because you remove the exhaust servo. Well, no need for a servo buddy. We take care of all that in the ECU Flash, as well as lowering the fan temps and all kind of other good things. So we're gonna pull up our dyno graph. Sure enough, 11,600 RPMs is where we made our peak horsepower. And we are going to correct those ETV tables, flash the ECU. Watch what happens after this. So really nice, really big gains. You can see the top end restrictions are gone and we have got a lot of extra horsepower. The thing is still pretty rich on the air fuel ratio. We made 180 horsepower, 76 foot-pounds of torque, which in my opinion is a little low for this bike, what it should be. I think the biggest thing holding us back is that our exhaust went from this big to this big. So I'm gonna talk with the customers, see what they wanna do. I know for a fact it's gonna gain a ton of power to remove that baffle. We gotta see, do they wanna deal with the, I guess you would say, nerve-wracking noise? Or do they wanna have a little less horsepower? Let's find out. As I suspected, baffle is coming out. Now there's one screw that holds the baffle in right there. You can see I've already removed that. The exhaust, she's a little on the toasty side. So we're going to remove this baffle and slide the exhaust or the baffle out. Pretty easy to slide it out. You can see, you know, pretty big difference how much bigger our exhaust is now. Let's go ahead and fire it up so you can hear the difference. but you can hear the idle wanting to fluctuate just a little bit. Literally nowhere close to the same bite. Let's run it now and see what it does. No changes to the tune whatsoever. Literally ran it, talked, pulled the baffle out, about to run it again. Let's see what the difference is. Wow, what a difference. Literally 10 horsepower, might as well say. We went from 180 to 189.94. Look at the gains it picked up everywhere. And look how much better our air fuel ratio is with literally just taking the baffle out. Now you can see we still got some improvements to make, but overall, this is a much better air fuel ratio right off the rip with our normal ECU Flash for this exhaust. So you can see that we can still make some improvements, but we picked up 189.94, or we are at 100, basically 90 horsepower now. 10 horsepower in 2 seconds by sliding that baffle out. All right, guys, baffle out was the consensus. The customer is gonna have the baffle out, but if he's gonna go on a long ride, he's like, he'll just put the baffle back in. So you've got the option to do that with this exhaust. But you hear what I'm talking about with the baffle out and the idle. Now we can perfect it. We're gonna work the best we can, but it's gonna vary. Cold engine, you're gonna have a low idle. Hot engine, we can smooth it out a little bit. After we run it a couple times on the dyno, make a pull with it, you're gonna hear it's gonna be smoother. But to me, this is annoying as hell. Go, boys. She's pretty much dialed in. We're almost finished with the tune. The idle, pretty smooth. It fluctuates a little bit from hot to cold, but with this exhaust, this is about as smooth as it's gonna get. You see, you can slide the baffle in, and it's much smoother, but you just don't have the noise / the horsepower people want with the baffle out. Let me run it one more time so you can hear what this thing sounds like now that she's all dialed in. As you can see, we've got massive gains pulled up for our before and after. You can see here at 13,400 RPMs. We were at 118 horsepower, now we're at 191. This bike literally has nothing besides this aero exhaust, which bolts on from here to here. Stock air filter, stock everything else. Literally, these ZX10s are pretty much the horsepower kings for just putting on a slip-on and doing a simple ECU flash and tune. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, smash that like button, comment in the comments below, let us know which is your new favorite GSXR, ZX10, CBR. Which one do you like the best? Which one would you buy if you were buying one, and which one do you already have? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.